In what's being described as one of the deadliest assaults on Kyiv this year, Ukrainian officials say at least 17 people have been killed. The capital and the surrounding area came under sustained attack with a wave of Russian missiles and drones. Another 27 people were injured. The mayor of Kyiv, Vitaly Klitschko, says a warehouse was destroyed near the city centre. Witnesses reported explosions in the early hours of Wednesday after Ukraine's Air Force detected several incoming missiles. Both Ukraine and Russia have increased their long-range attacks in recent weeks as they target each other's infrastructure. While in Russia's Tula region, a logistics hub of the Russian online retailer Wildberries caught fire after a Ukrainian drone attack. Wildberries has seen more than a dozen of its facilities damaged in drone attacks recently. Our Ukraine correspondent Dan Johnson sent this update.
Ukraine's Air Force says 28 Russian ballistic missiles were detected in a wave that started just after midnight. The air raid sirens sounded, but there wasn't much time for people to take shelter because those ballistic missiles arrive so quickly, and they were not able to intercept any of them. It's not clear whether they tried and failed or whether they simply have no air defense missile interceptors left. President Zelensky has once again appealed for the supply of those Patriot missile interceptors to increase. He's been pleading repeatedly for more of those air defense missile interceptors, and he said that if they had been available last night, lives could have been saved. He's also called for further tougher sanctions on Russia to limit its ballistic missile capacity, because it was clear last night that Russia still is able to inflict damage and destruction right at the heart of the Ukrainian capital. We know that some postal and distribution warehouses were hit on the edge of the city. There were intense explosions and then the sight of fires around the edge of the city, and search and rescue teams are still at work searching for any of the survivors or the injured, and the death toll keeps increasing. It's not clear whether this was Russia acting in direct response for the attacks that Ukraine has been able to inflict on the distribution and warehouse centres of Russia's biggest online retailer, but there have been an increasing amount of long-range attacks over recent days, and Ukraine is counting the cost this morning.
President Zelensky shared a video on social media of what appears to be a drone hunting down a man in southern Ukraine, saying it showed an instance of Russian safari attacks against civilians. The man escaped with multiple shrapnel wounds and concussion. The UN is warning of an alarming rise in civilian attacks in the war. Our diplomatic correspondent Paul Adams reports from Kyiv.
This is the moment a drone chases a Ukrainian vegetable seller in Kherson. The video was shared by Ukraine's President Zelensky, and a warning: what you're about to see is distressing. The man's name is Yuri. He says he was setting up his stall when the drone arrived and started chasing him. He says he even showed his vegetables to the drone to prove there was no reason to attack him. The drone hit his vehicle. Amazingly, he survived, and Yuri was left with shrapnel wounds. This is one of the most graphic examples of what Ukrainians call the human safari, where civilians, not soldiers, are tracked down and attacked by drones piloted from Russian positions across the river. People in Kherson have been living with this threat ever since the city was liberated at the end of 2022. The incident has been described as a barbaric war crime by Ukraine's foreign minister. President Zelensky said the world needed to see how Russian soldiers enjoyed killing and tormenting people.
So we can still see the smoke rising after the attacks that happened in the early hours of the morning and overnight in Kyiv, Russia's attacks on Ukraine. At least 17 people are known to have been killed in these attacks. This is one scene. At least 8 people were killed at a railway station in Brovary outside Kyiv. There were 3 people killed at a Nova Poshta postal service hub inside Kyiv itself. And as well as the railway station in Brovary, there has been a warehouse belonging to a major electronics retailer destroyed as well, Rozietka, just outside Kyiv, and a food warehouse. So really devastating strikes by Russia on Ukraine. That is one aftermath, with smoke still rising.